Yes, we are live now. Okay, great. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your participation. Welcome to the Fit Geek Show. Today, yet we have another special guest all the way from Serbia. We have Sensei Avi Nardia, who is a world famous martial artist. He spent more than 2 decades serving in the Israeli Defense Forces. He has extensive experience in this field. He's also the founder and the owner of Avi Nardia KAPAP Krav Maga, which he will talk about soon later on. And I've had the experience as well to learn under one of his students, Sensei Avnish Mehta. He used to teach me for a while until the pandemic hit, and then I had to stop practicing. So thank you so much, Sensei, for being with us. And I hope that you're keeping safe during this time. So what's the situation in Serbia with COVID?
Situation here is very good. I think that one of the best countries that handle and management the COVID
Mhm.
is Serbia. I think that a lot of people need to see how in Serbia we're not in panic. Life is going like normal. People have some restriction, not so many. It's
Okay.
not a panic. And I don't know. I think that the best place to be in this pandemic day is actually here in Serbia. I think that we, the people that manage the pandemic here, they do it very well.
Okay, that's good to hear. So to give an introduction for you, I have to read it out because you have so much work that you've done that I cannot memorize everything. So I'm going to
Take
read
your
it out.
time.
So Sensei Nardia has served in the Israeli Special Counter-Terror Unit as an intelligence team member with the rank of Staff Sergeant Major, which is NCO, and as its official defensive tactics CQB the instructor. He also served at the Israeli Operational Police Academy as an official instructor of defensive tactics and operational behavior. In 24 years of reserve service to the Israeli Defense Forces, he earned the rank of major. He has also trained police agencies and armed forces all over the world, from police patrol and correctional officers to SWAT, SRT, and SERT team members, along with Army, Marine, and counter-terror units and special forces. He is one of a handful of instructors to have been an official instructor of the Israeli Army, Israeli police, and Israeli counter-terror units. With 50 years of experience with different martial arts and CQB, Sensei Avi Nardia, KAPAP Combative, serves as a think tank, a repository of knowledge and experience in the field. So this was his grand introduction that I had. And Sensei, so what motivated you to be in this field and serve in the Israeli Defense Forces for so many years?
I think that many times the glories and the titles take from the real. The real is very simple. We're just normal people, average people
Hmm.
that we must go to the army. The army is a part of our mandatory service.
Correct.
So every boy that finish high school,
Hmm.
once you finish high school, you join the army. I
Okay.
was not even lucky because I finished the last final test of the high school around July 10 or something. And in July 21, I was already a soldier because it was like the people that go to pilot course, they go before everyone.
Okay.
So we had to go. So even we didn't have off from normal high school, and immediately we had to go to the army. And basically, we're normal people, same like you. And
Hmm.
this is what actually I will try, and you will hear me many times in my messages today.
Okay. Okay. And because whenever we talk about serving in special forces, we always think of the people involved in such situations and agencies to be elite in their fitness and overall in their mental toughness. So, do you agree with that, or is it just that anybody can be like that?
No, it's a decision more than anything else. I think that again, like we go back. A lot of people, mostly I can witness for Israel, that go to many units. I have a friend that he finished a pilot and then he became a professor for mathematics, but he never graduated from high school.
Oh.
So he was very bad in school. He retired from school at after 11 years. He never finished 12.
Mm-hmm.
Then he go to the army. He was selected to pilot. In the pilot course, they study mathematics and everything. He became a pilot.
Mm.
And because you are a pilot, they send you also to university and everything. With the years, he became a professor for mathematics in Tel Aviv University. So you are talking about anybody that one day make a decision, but
Mm.
more than the decision, I think that you need also to get the open door. So
Okay.
the open door is the most difficult because I believe if somebody open door, like for that friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and encourage him to go to change all his point of view, and instead of just be 11 years old and category by society and school, he
Mm-hmm.
decide, wow, the army give me opportunity to be a pilot. Wow, I'm in the top.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly it leads you to do different. It could be also the opposite, that the army will judge you and now you will be depressed. And I have the other bad example. Society, we judging people. So
Mm-hmm.
if you let no matter which society, if it's army or if it's civilian, to judge you, you're already lost in the game. You the only one to judge is you and yourself. And many times you have open doors. It's no matter which one.
Mm-hmm.
But once you open the door, just prove yourself. And that's why I don't think that anybody that I met in my career in any special force is very unique. Maybe only one is from Nepal, that Nirmal, the guy that just climbed on the Everest. But
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sure that if you talk to him, he's a very normal person, very down to earth, very humble. Because if
Mm-hmm.
not, you would never be able to do it. And of course, you have special forces arrogance, and they don't have values. Even if he come from special force, believe or not, he did nothing in his life. Because the people that really face the challenge is because of their own decision to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not, nobody can decide this for you. So if you decide you're going to do it, you will do it. And I will give you example. I was on one of my flights, and I never watch movies. I always look at documentary. And normally, if I fly and it's India Airlines, I will look for documentary Indian. Nobody will hear about those producers, in the
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood. Or if it's Air France, I will see French movies. And in that manner, I met a lot of interesting videos. And I'm sitting in some flight and I see a guy from Britain, and he decided, because of stories of his grandfather that was in the Amazon, and he decided that he's going to cross all the Amazon from one side to the other.
Okay.
And when you see the sparks in his eyes, I smiled to myself because I was in the airplane. I cannot talk to anybody. They think
Right.
I'm crazy. So I said, he's going to do it. I could tell it in his eyes. He didn't do it for glory. He did
Mm-hmm.
it here and here. It's two things. He will take anything that need to be done to do it. And then there were two guys that going to join him. Once they interviewed the first one, he said, "My name is this and this. I'm an expert survivor." And I smiled. I said, "Oh, he's gonna. There's no way he's gonna do it." Once you declare yourself as an expert, and the other expert was expert for outdoor, and they did a lot of show. They come with a special, fancy clothes. They're not going to do it. They took too much. Immediately they are expert and did. This is a mission. This is a
Mm-hmm.
very serious mission. If you think you're gonna go to the Everest and just go and walk, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what you're talking, because you're gonna meet Mother Earth, and she's gonna whip you all over. And that's why I said you can tell who's gonna do it. by
Mm-hmm.
the eye many times, because the eyes go directly to your brain and to your soul. So what I'm trying to say that, and I had it a lot of time. People tell me, "Oh, I want to be in this unit." I say, "Why? You look very normal." You understand? When I had to kick people from selecting to some forces,
Mm-hmm.
I always smile and I tell them, "Look, there will be some people in this unit, and some people will success in life. You will be
Mm-hmm.
success in life." Because a lot of time people think I was in Navy SEAL. That's not a recipe to success in life. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of time you carry different post-trauma, different things that, because there's a Chinese saying that if you cross the river or if you go to a journey, you're not the same guy that before the journey and after the journey, you're
Ah,
not the same
same
person.
person. Right, right.
And people that have to go those kind of journeys, they change. It's
Mm.
very difficult for them sometimes to communicate with other people. It's very difficult for them even to be married. And a lot of
Mm.
times, the army people, they divorce. It's because of the lifestyle and because of the adventure, because of many reasons.
Mm.
But one of the reasons is that you follow different changes. Not
Mm.
all of them are good. Not all of them are bad. But many times I used to laugh. I say, "You look like a nice guy. Why would you want to go there?" Because it could be a unit that doing terrible jobs.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not. How many people tell me, "Oh, I want to do," and then they even don't know what this job is involved with. And
yeah. Mm.
so, okay, if you want to go to the Everest and you cannot take cold, you cannot take abuse, because what do you think? Everest come and say, "Come, give me a hug." He's gonna abuse you. He's gonna put storm on you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just do it for the ego, today even in Zoom we can put the Everest behind me as a background, and then I'm in audio there. So if you do it for your ego,
Mm.
you will never be able to do it. If you do it for yourself, because that's what you want,
Mm-hmm.
you always success. You always. And I met people that failed in many time in the test. They went and they failed and they come back. Same like you climbed Everest and you fell and you come back and
Mm.
then they became who they are. I know one chief of staff in Israel that I think 3 times he was dropped from the officer post. They kick him out,
Mm.
but he was insist. And so a lot of time it's depend on your stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
My message is that nobody born to be a Navy SEAL. I have a friend is a Navy SEAL. He don't like cold water. So when we talk, he told me, "Could you imagine how much wind I have?" Because he hate. If we go to the beach, I'm already swimming. He's like outside putting legs. But if he need, he jump. He don't think. If he
Mm-hmm.
don't need, he's lazy. You understand?
Yeah.
So my message is to people: if you want to do something, you will do it. If you don't want to do it, nobody can make you. Nobody.
Mm. True, true. Well, I myself am really interested in the defense forces of any country, so in the special forces, is because that is one area of fitness where you require your brain to work in synchronization with your body. At the same time, your life is at stake, and that makes things really difficult to execute. And the situation that a normal athlete is in, I'm not saying a normal athlete leads a comfortable life, but the two things are different. So one person leads the way, their life is at stake, and the other person is training for their country, and then they compete in the Olympic level. So when I compare the special forces to any other athlete, the special forces or the army people or the military people, they stand out a little bit more because of the danger they face. So Sensei, do you think that's true?
Everything is true and everything is not true. Different opinion don't mean that it's different true. Okay,
Okay.
start with it. I
Hmm.
always respect people even when they have different opinion, because this is the truth for you and this is the only truth for you. And
Hmm.
Now we can have a conversation and agree or not agree, or maybe you will agree in another 5 years or 10 years, or I will agree to you. Okay. So first of all, I'm not sure that, I see a lot of movies, and every time, on all of those Hollywood movies, suddenly the guy is the ex-special forces. And then, he fly helicopter. I mean, how God. For this, you need to be a pilot, not a special force, okay? But he fly a helicopter that he first time seeing his life. I'm renting a car, and I'm a good driver. And every time I rent a car, it takes me time just to understand how the new car working. Where is the light, where is everything. But these guys, the ex-special forces, you run this helicopter, and then I don't know, he put a rope, which is another skill, and he jumped into another helicopter, and then he fly an airplane. So I think that in the last years, and thanks to Hollywood, that a lot of legend about special forces that I like to destroy. My my friend teach here in Serbia. He didn't teach. They hire him for the language. They hire him for the language, and they hire him from some unit, special unit from Britain.
Okay.
Because here, no language. You cannot read the signs because there's Cyrillic. It's like me go to India. I cannot read your language, and they bring them here for some special training. And then told me he was in a shock how much those people don't think, don't have any intelligent or robots, and they're stuck on the highway, and you need to pay in the highway cash. They don't have money. They have, would you take dollar? Would you? I mean, I think that too many legend and the truth is a little bit different. Now, I don't disrespect anybody, but I also don't respect civilian people, and I think that again, it's all depend on you. And if you come from special forces, it don't make you a better driver. It don't make you. Sometimes it could be, but it's because of you, because you're unique. And in many special forces, I must put the truth. I will go for Israel. I go for units that I saw and I trained. 50%, they are very good, unique. 50%, I don't even know what they're doing there. They're doing there because their cousin is a general or nephew is over. So I would not give anybody credit before I see by my own eyes. It's like when I go to teach people shooting and you tell me, you want this unit, I don't care where you come from. The first, you show me Jeff Cooper shooting rules, that you understand them, that you know them, that you have the ability to run it safe. And I will not take any credit from Olympic athletes because there's no doubt that they have their benefit and army people have our benefit.
Correct.
And this is why I said very careful about what you think, because many times you might be surprised. Don't live in a legend world. I come from Israel. If you tell me that your shirt is bulletproof, I will tell you to take off your shirt. I will put it on some stage and I will shoot it. And only if I find out that I shoot it, now I'll believe it's a bulletproof, because it's depend on the angle that you shoot. It's depend on so many, which kind of ammo, which kind of velocity. I'm a person that believe only to things that I do or I touch. And I worked in my life with a lot of people also in the VP protection, and people coming from different units, different stories. The reality was totally different. And then I got people that never been in the army, never been in a special force, and the reality was great. So nothing effect. But of course, if somebody got some, I would say, skills, it will impress me. I'm a trainer. So I don't, as a trainer, I don't care if you are the commander of this unit or this unit. My job is to teach, and I judge you by what you know, and I judge you by what you can do, your skills. or how I can fix your skills or not.
Mhm.
And this is why I am. I saw in my life, because my unit, we take people that already been in the army.
Mhm.
The unit I was a top trainer in Israel. It's a unit that first you have to be in the army
Okay.
and to be very qualified in the army, and then from about 1,000 to 5,000 application and about 1,000 that appearing to the final test, we will take about 10.
Wow.
Yes. So it's very fast judging.
Mhm.
And but once you are in, my job is to protect you in all the training journey and to build you,
Mhm.
not to destroy you.
Mhm.
So I cannot allow you to injury. I cannot allow you to do things because I need those 10 or 8. Because from 10 people, normally we will stay with 8 from different reasons. They're already fit, they can be there, but from different reasons, they can be out because negative aggressive, they're too much aggressive.
Mhm.
Or they are great, but they don't know to work as a team. So he run forward, he forget that we have another people.
Mhm.
So communication, how we socialize with the people. So all of those things.
Mhm.
And this is why I don't judge anybody until I see him. And we did a lot of things in the unit, including because many times in the Israeli army, people they call themselves warriors.
Mhm.
And, no, you might be a fighter, but warrior is a totally different word. Okay, it's too big.
Mhm.
And with these people, sometimes they come, they think they know everything because they've been in the army, that unit or this unit,
Mhm.
and it's very difficult to teach them because they get with a lot of bad habits. So
Mhm.
ego with bad habits creating a disaster.
Mhm. Mhm. True.
Now, when I take people that been in the army, a clerk, I don't care because you're gonna be in a counter-terrorist unit. They're doing assault. And for me, if you come clean, it's more easy to me. If you start to cook and I
Mhm.
have to cook, it's very difficult. If you make a program on computer and I have to go to your program, it's very difficult. It's much more easy for me to take something clean and create it
Mhm.
from zero to my ability. It takes more time.
Mhm.
That's why sometimes you must have some military background. But sometimes that background can be disaster,
Mhm.
it's very difficult to fix because you have bad habits, and habits is something that it's already created. It's very difficult to change.
Mhm. Mhm.
Talk about most of sport athlete elite, they always work with the top coaches
Mhm.
mostly.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yes.
So in the army, it's not like this. In the army, oh, this is Jimmy. He is number one instructor for whatever, you know. But if you test army food, it's not like the food in Hilton.
Mhm.
The cook in the army is not taste like Hilton. The quality of the chef of Hilton and the experience, and in the army, we all from the age of 18 to 21. So if your instructor is 19 or 20 or
Mhm.
even 21,
Mhm.
what kind of experience you bring to the table?
True. True.
If I'm almost 60 today, my experience when I teach you, I can see you as me when I was 18. I can see how to transfer you. I can see how to do it in the most safe. So
Mhm.
I I I am actually the opposite of what people sometimes think. People think, oh, Avi Nardia is a major, but I was always a different bird in the army.
Mhm.
Don't think like the army. Yes, sir. 10 push-ups. No, let me think. Why you want me to do the push-ups? Then I will do them. You understand? I'm more like a thinking, and this is
Mhm.
why I'm a warrior. You cannot tell me go kill these people.
Mhm.
I need to know.
Mhm.
A warrior is a guy that follows his heart.
Mhm.
A fighter could be a psycho that he just want to fight.
True.
So did many different things, and this is why again I don't judge anybody, but I am looking at myself more like a civilian. I sell myself as a civilian.
Hmm.
Many times people, oh, I mean, I was a military major, and people call me sir and stand like this, and I'm laughing. Come on, relax, have a coffee. So it's your decision, but I follow reality, not legend. I
Hmm.
grew up by legend. That's why I don't follow. I grew up by legend, and then I came to the reality, to the stories, how the commander is this. And I was in a war in 1982, and I saw our commanders,
Hmm.
everyone that is more than a lieutenant colonel to generals, leave us on the field in the Moor. I will never forget it. That and they took our airplane and go.
Wow.
So, so I have a lot here inside because I was a soldier. I didn't play soldiers, and
Hmm.
now I can see a lot of people. They go like this, and they go in the in the wood in some shooting range, and they play soldiers. I was a soldier. Nobody can sell me that.
Hmm. Hmm.
You understand?
Hmm.
It's like this is why I also made my choice to work more with civilians and how I can affect civilian people and people that don't want to be special force or people that want quality, but you don't need to find that quality in the army and join the army and things like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's why I say to myself always and also to my students, listen, you are a self-defense instructor for normal people.
Hmm.
Leave the special forces for the special forces. Don't play because a lot of time when you look for Krav Maga and a lot of army styles, it's a sometimes I don't want to judge them in a bad
Hmm.
way, but
Hmm.
how would you call people that never been a soldier, they're dressing with a uniform, they go to the mall in the city center, play soldier for 2 hours. If you tell them something that they don't like, they'll tell you, oh, and complain about you all over the internet. That's not a soldier. But if you are a soldier, whatever the sergeant tell you, you do.
Hmm.
So if you want to play soldier, okay, go to there. That's why many times I don't allow people that coming even to train shooting with me to come with uniform. You're
Hmm.
not a soldier.
Hmm.
I teach you to shoot. Look at sport shooting like IPSC or uh, so there is a lot of way to be professional, and I want to teach people to be professional, not
Hmm.
to not to play like a kids Halloween, and now I'm a soldier and tomorrow I'm a policeman. Many times people tell me, "Oh, police." I said, "Did you ever been a police officer in your life? So what do you know about this job?" So
Hmm.
you come from a ninja, and you think that as a police officer, the old lady told you something that you don't like, and then you trap her here and you poke the eye like that. Yeah, it's work, but that's not the job of a police officer.
Hmm.
And I think that you can see in the last few years, because a lot of time also in Israel, the police stopped to bring professional people because of the cost to the police.
Hmm.
And the police were ready to change all the guns. And I said, why want to change? Your Glock 17 is the best gun. You don't need compensator. Definitely as a tactical, you don't need a compensator. That's the most nonsense thing. But why you want to change it? Because they have budget. And when you change equipment, you can bribe under the table and things like that. But what can you get from training? Police will not invest money for professional training. And even they will take a guy that was a champion for, okay, you can kill, but is this is a police job? The police need to have their own curriculum. The
Hmm.
army has a different curriculum. In the army, I have a bayonet and I slash you for two and leave you alive to scream, to scare your friend. But how can you teach this? So if you come from Krav Maga and Krav Maga is the army, how dare you to teach police? You don't know nothing about liability, about law,
Hmm.
about police work. If you've been a police officer, and this is why when you're introduced and you say, yeah, I was official instructor in police. I was
Mm-hmm.
official instructor. It means I am a policeman going with a uniform every day.
Mm-hmm.
And from time to time also serve as a police.
Mm.
And then I teach you also. So that's make a difference.
Right,
That's
right.
make a difference. So let's leave the police and the army. Let's go to the sport. It's more interesting.
Mm.
I
Okay.
think for civilians.
Yes. So, when did you get introduced to Krav Maga, Jiu Jitsu, and the field of martial arts? Was it before you joined the army, or was it after you joined?
The thing, when you're born in Israel, actually in my time, I born in 1962. So when you're born in the 60s, Israel was hardly called a country.
Hmm.
What it was, a country of what? 10 years?
Hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
And everything was, we call it a partisan. It was, you have this hat, you have that hat, you have this
Hmm.
gun, you have this gun. Only now, in 2021, the army is like that, and there's regulation and everything. But like when it started, it was not regulated. And that's why when you say Krav Maga, a lot of people think it's a one system, and it's not, because there were a lot of immigrants. And one immigrant, Judah Marcus, for example, he
Hmm.
was coming from judo. The other come from this. The other, and many times even people didn't have the knowledge, and they just played, or they had some books and they
Hmm.
read from books.
Hmm.
So a lot of time, good and bad, it creates some influence and a climbing. So when you grow up as a kid in 1960, and your father was from the first Israeli Red Beret, and my father also was owner with Red Wings because he was in a parachuting in
Right.
a real war.
Hmm.
And you're born with a guy like that, which is he was very tough, my father.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not tough. I'm a psycho. I'm laughing, but I can punch you in your nose, even if I'm your best friend. That's different, you see. But my father was a tough guy. That's how my memory. You better don't ask too many questions. You better you understand.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
rules. Even when I came with my son to visit my family, and my son sit on the chair of my father, it was like, oh God, it's gonna start a war now because there's the chair that only your father allowed to do.
Hmm.
There's a fork that only your father eats with this. So my father was a very strong character, and I was always a funny guy. I
Hmm.
like to joke. I like to, it's a little bit, but that's why when I wanted to study judo, and again, when you are 5 years old, you fight in the neighborhood, with the kids and wrestling, and then in Israel they had box, and the box was still sometime like this, not like that. It was still
Hmm.
like old because immigrants, and this guy knew something, and this guy, and everyone called himself a teacher. It was not so much structural,
Hmm. Hmm.
and my father started to teach me, and I didn't like it because it was very rough.
Hmm.
And my father did like army training, which were rough, and I was just a child.
Hmm.
When I was a little bit bigger, I fall in love with judo because that was the first classical martial art that I saw that you punch or you do a move, and I'm taking your move and your force and using it against you.
Hmm.
So I immediately fall in love with judo. I had to actually to escape from my father's eyes because my father was totally against martial art.
Oh.
So, and my father, I think when I was 14, he was not so much respected. He always, because he was a tough guy. And I remember, because one day I sit with my friend Moshe Barokas, which we're still friends today after like, I don't remember, 40, 50 years. And
Hmm.
we are kids at the 14. And my father said, oh yeah, he start now, he's doing judo and this. And my father want to show off on me. And I remember, because it was like yesterday, I did Ochigeri on him. And I
Hmm.
dropped him on my bed. And he broke the bed, the wood. It's very, and he was in a shock. I could tell. He was like, what the heck hit me, because a tough guy. But I used his force against him.
Hmm.
And And I think that after this, age 14, I left actually to the army dormitory. So I was actually army cadet since I'm 14 years old.
Wow. Okay.
So I know very well the army since the age of 14. I eat army food and I dress army uniform, not as a want to be, as a
Hmm.
real. And this is why when I could throw my uniform out and the heavy shoes, oh God, give me flip-flop shoes. And even today, many times, even I used to teach Eskimo people in the north,
Hmm.
in James Bay. They used to see me going outside my car with a flip-flop shoe and a snow like that, you know, because I'm an ex-army guy. Once I can take my uniform and rest, that's what I do.
Hmm.
This is why when I see people walking in the streets, in the mall with a uniform, come on, they've never been in the army. Army people give us shorts, flip-flop shoes, good food. So when you talk about martial art,
Hmm.
let me explain to you. Army cadet is a 5,000 in this academy.
Hmm.
Do you know how breakfast you look? Do you know how, I mean, UFC is nothing.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Because imagine you're 14, I'm 15, he is 16, that guy is 17, and you have also soldiers in the same, because it's an army base.
Hmm.
And the soldiers stealing the blanket from you. And now we have to go 4 people, 5 people, and beat him up and take the blanket. Yeah, of course. Jungle rules, man.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when we talk about martial art, what martial art? That's real life. That's real life. You know how many times you have to fight almost every day
Hmm.
because you know they give you shoko. Shoko is like a coconut,
Okay.
but it's coming in a nylon.
Hmm.
And once it's on the table, the big guy's coming and taking it. This is mine too. What are you gonna do now?
Hmm.
So either you play the game, you take the tray for metal and smack it in their face, and then nobody will ever touch your shoko again.
Hmm.
Or you're gonna give it every day. So even if they beat you up, you do your best. But because when you beat somebody bad, even if I beat you and you still punching me, I don't want to beat you again. I go for different targets. So when people talk to me about martial art, what? Like you said, martial art in the army, in reality, in school, anti-bully, yes, bully. I mean, we had bully every day. Every day. What do you think? When you're 14 and they're 17, do you know how much that age in the body type is so different? These are kids and these are adults.
Yep. Hmm.
And what if you fight with the soldiers and they can be 20?
Hmm. Hmm.
So you studied how to work, how to build, and of course the army has its own training. So if they call it Krav Maga, it's a Krav Maga. But I don't know because you know the name. We say if you put the crown on a clown, you don't make him a king. So if you call it Krav Maga, I don't mean that it's Krav Maga. Krav Maga is a philosophy
Hmm.
more than anything because it's a non-one system. It's a system that even when you see today, why not? There's things that came from BJJ, from Taibo, from different systems. So Krav Maga is a panorama
Hmm.
of different things to put and give you the best tools for self-defense. It's like MMA,
Hmm.
but MMA built for sport. So MMA will not do guns or gun disarming, will
Hmm.
not do knives or knife disarming,
Hmm.
will not do women attack class.
Hmm. Hmm.
Plus, you know, MMA build that I have a glove and if you fight with those guys, you have no much choice unless you poke their eye.
Hmm.
So the old philosophy, everything must be different, and it's also depend on you. I mean, many people didn't study any martial art and they survive in the real fight, and many people study martial art and they shrink in the real fight. You know,
Hmm.
the fight, flight, or freeze is affecting on anybody, and many times people, I don't know. It depends how many fights you have. It depends on so many things that, and even many times you will lose, but you never lose as long as you're alive. You only lose if somebody managed to kill you, or you think that you're strong, and now because you're really strong and your ego, and now you even beat up the guy, but then he will pull a gun and shoot you. So you need to be smart how to do not fight, you know. I didn't have that skill when I was younger. I had a lot of fights in my life. Even my brother said that I'm a psycho because I stabbed him 3 times. 3 times he remember. I don't remember how many times, but I remember a lot of fights. And because I'm not strong, I'm very brave because I'm a coward. So I take my coward and I break a glass and stick it in your face. So you say, oh God, I'm not fighting with you. Good. That's what I want. I don't want to fight with anybody. So Krav Maga is a philosophy. Krav Maga is different than judo or different than BJJ. Of course, if you have skills in all those arts, it will make your Krav Maga much better. This is why Krav Maga in the army is a very simple thing. I get a malfunction with my gun, so I shovel it in your face. You grab my gun, and I do all of those things. Yeah? But if you grab my gun, I just shoot you. It's more simple. So depend also who teach you the Krav Maga. What is his experience? And like anything else in life. So my martial art go that I love the classical martial arts because I was a tough guy. When it comes to street fight, I'm not afraid. Maybe now I'm afraid. I'm getting old enough to be afraid. Oh God, how I survive all of those crazy things. But the thing is that you need to remember that the classical is the real martial art, in my opinion. The street fight or this is actually can be stopped in 95% by prevent, by not associate with the wrong people from first to last. Many women that get raped because they associate also with the wrong people. I don't blame, but a lot of those situations, there's things that you cannot stop. And these are the real self-defense. But if you go to Mike Tyson after midnight to his room, there's no way. I'm even not going to sparring with him at 12. Why you even want to go with a beast? So I'm not surprised when sometimes things happen because, like I don't say that the victim is guilt. Don't misunderstood me, but I say that in many things you need to be smart not to go to that. Like I loved a lot of travel, and I don't want not to talk about that country, but people say, oh, you love to go there, why you don't go? Because I don't want to go in a street when people stand with a gun, and I don't know who's the nutcase that is going. No. So I'm trying to live more safe. And also, I know in my spirit I'm very adventurous, and I did, like I told you, a lot of stupid things, but I will not try to take my wife there or my son there. Why? I did it. I did it. I took my son to Amazon. I took my son to many adventures, but I stopped because I live from the adventure at the time. I don't want to fool other people, and it's also dangerous. Look now with the COVID, how the world is changed. It's not what you do if a guy come with a knife and another come with a gun. No, I ask you, what you do if one virus, COVID-19, come from here and Ebola coming from here? You understand? The real life is not. So this is why when we talking about self-defense, is actually how to manage your life and to live healthy life. So I know people in a special force that got bullet in the head and now they are in a wheelchair like this. So my question for you, what do you want to do? That's the first thing. You need to really know what you do. I want to climb on the Everest. Okay. Remember that not everyone that climbed the Everest coming back from the Everest.
Yes.
If you come back, you'll be Mr. Top Guy talking, I don't know, telling your story. You do it twice, don't try the third one. Because in the end, you can climb Everest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sure if you go like for 100 times to the Everest, around around after 10, I will not see you anymore. People die. Because the Everest, Mama Earth give you like a window to go. If you get a really like today, a nice weather, you will be able to do it. You got into a storm, even if you get to the Everest, remember that you have also to return. And if you, I don't know, anything, broke your knee, fall, no power, oxygen problems, nobody is gonna carry you. You're gonna die there. So it's not a joke. It's not a game. When you go to a special force, you're gonna. I mean, Navy SEAL. That's why you're not like the Navy SEAL in the U.S. They have a base in San Diego, the first school, and the bad school in San Diego.
Yes.
When they finish, they have to swim from near to some island, and it's very funny because there's a lot of real white sharks over there.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. See, you think twice if you want to be an Navy SEAL. They are not the only animal in the water. Even in Israel, we had like 2 times attacked on army people by sharks. Unlucky, the guy dropped from the helicopter into the water in some kind of training, and tiger shark, food. You understand? Most of Israeli Navy SEAL got cancer because the army put the training base in a river called Kishon, and it's a lot of chemicals, and they never knew about that it's danger. But when you dive in a area when you can get different disease. So this is why I said, ask yourself what you really want to be. And you talked about two extreme, to be athletic top, like Olympic sport, or to be a special force is not what I suggest to normal people. That's why I scared you. I always say, relax, take it easy. So after you take it easy, and if you take it easy and it's boring, go for the next level. But people that never even do the first level, they want to be in a special force. Let's go do the army. If you like it, if you can take it, then we talk about more. So my idea in life is going levels, and same in sport. Olympic sport. Look, if we go to study now to be even a doctor, engineer, we are a class of 100 people. All the 100 we will be graduates. If we go to a special force, only few will be graduate. If you go to Olympic, from 100, only one will be graduate. Only one will be first place. So could you see the pressure? So my idea, live a healthy life. Take this stress away from you. Just don't exaggerate. Don't be crazy. Like that everyone eyes is on you for good and bad. It's mostly for bad because I don't know any players that everyone love for a certain time and then they hate for a certain time. And then they talk about, he's a useless. Yeah, but I don't want again. I think Maradona, rest in peace, was a genius when it comes to football. But the life is different. And look what happened to him.
Yeah.
He was the emperor of the football, and a lot of people will critique him and everything. So, but my neighbor run every day. Nobody critique him. So that's why I say, if you put yourself, even a special force, or you always under a system that critique you. And my idea is to take normal people, just normal people that like me, coffee. And they are not crazy about sport. They can live very good also without a sport. But to make them understanding the benefit of the sport for their own health. just for themselves. And that's my goal in my teaching, is not to make you number one or number two, to give quality to your life. And this is why I think last time we talked about handicapped kids.
Yes,
That
yes.
was my biggest achievement, not special forces. My kids can teach special forces. They're like this. They have guns. So all the other things, believe me now, it's you will not be able to do them in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of operations, all of those things, they will not. It's a good, it's a skill, it's a fitness, it's a sport, it's a confidence. There's a lot of benefit.
Mm.
But the real life, you put your gun and you shoot. All of those things, you come behind him, you take the knife. No, you put a silencer, the sniper taking from 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer with a ultrasonic bullet. Nobody just fought. Nobody even know. So get out the movies, go back to reality. And the reality is not what they show you today in the TV. When
Mm.
they made the world crazy with all reality shows in TV.
Mm.
The women look like this, you know, like they have huge lips like this. Like what is that? You know, injections, big this, big. This is not reality. This is not the normal. But you can change people understanding what is the normal. I
Mm.
try to stay in the normal. Okay.
Mm.
So for me to take kids that are like this because of spasm and to put them through the martial arts, which is a part of fit, it's also fitness, and to bring something to their life forever,
Mm.
that they will never forget what you. They might forget my name, like me. I don't remember all my teachers, but I remember, man, you used to go there and run and jump. And so I think that for us as a coach, it's more important to get to the average Joe
Mm.
and to teach them
Mm.
and to helping them and bring different life quality for them than to special force. This is more like an ego thing. You
Mm.
understand?
Mm.
So if you want, I'm a trainer of this and that, whatever, but the reality and the real thing is if you can bring some happiness, that for example, after 2 years of teaching handicap, and my first class, they're always using their handicap against me. I tell them to do something, oh, I can't, oh, I'm this. And then I sit them down and I scream about them. You
Mm.
don't want to see me screaming. I'm scary, but I say, sit down, or like this. I don't give a shit who you are. Get away from my class. If you come here, you do my rules. You do that. I put them the first thing in a teaching, discipline.
Mm. Mm.
Discipline is very important. And I explain to them, if you want to use your handicap, and here you will not get a discount. If you need to show me also to gallery, you're gonna show me also to gallery.
Mm.
If
Mm.
you don't have a leg, you grow a leg. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You do it with your hands. I don't care how you do it, but you're gonna do it.
Mm.
And after 2 years, because they were because I kicked them out from my class. They begged to get. For me, the biggest punish for student is when I take students out of my class. They cry. I
Mm.
did it the same with the Eskimo tribes and the Cree tribes because they used to go and feel sorry for themselves. Where minorities, this minority. Now you're not minority. Now I'm the minority. You all Cree tribe indigenous.
Mm. Mm.
I'm the only one that is not. So don't talk to me about minorities. Sit down and start. So the thing is, I get after 2 years to see the handicapped kids getting yellow belt and how much they were so. You can see it in BJJ. When a guy gets BJJ black belt, tough guy, ex-Navy SEAL, whatever, he cried. He cried. He worked for this 10 years, 15 years. I go on the beach, I see a kid with a double chin, fat, like this. And the father see me and I'm teaching on the beach, some group. I says, oh, what martial art you doing? I said, then, oh, my son is already a 4 dan in Taekwondo. I said, what? How old is he? He's 12. He's already 4 dan in Taekwondo, and now he wants to do this and this. And okay, I feel sorry for them. And I don't know who's that coach, because that coach with these kids, it will never go to the Everest. Never.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a very nice guy. I'm a very funny guy, but I'm very abusive to my students. I admit. I push. You know, in Israel, they used to make jokes when I used to teach there many years ago
Mm-hmm.
that, because I always take your address, that if you don't come to my class, suddenly I'm in your door. You open the door, I punch you, and I go inside your school. Why you didn't come yesterday to training? I used to surprise so many people in their homes. Why didn't come yesterday for training? Oh, I have this. I punch you. I say, if you don't come tomorrow, I kill you. And I go, you understand?
Yeah.
This is why I tell people, don't waste my time. You want to waste your time with your time. You come to study disagreement. And this is what people do not understand in martial art today, because they go, you can see people, they go to this school, they're getting this, they go, and then they tell you they're training for 30 years. How can you train with so many teachers for 30 years? Why are you changing your teacher every 6 months? My teachers stay the same teachers. I study with Machado family for BJJ. I study with Kubo Akira Sensei for sword. I study with Hanshi Patrick McCarthy for karate and Jiu Jitsu. You don't change teachers. Even when you grow up, when I grow up, I have my own team. I always in a contact with my teacher. I go to them to get more classes. You go to many Krav Maga teachers, says, who's your teacher? Oh, teacher is dead. And that's it. That's why the philosophy is different. That's why even when you talk about Krav Maga, many times people say, oh, I'm a student for the real Krav Maga. Yeah, but you never even met the teacher called Imi Lichtenfeld. Imi left the army in 1960. Israel was a country from 1948. 12 years he served in the army. What happened since 1960 to today? So many teachers, so many knowledge. You can give credit, you cannot give credit, but you cannot tell me that one guy created the system. I'm sorry, no. It's like people always argue in Israeli martial art. I said, no, there's many routes, there's many threats. Which is the best? The best that work for you. If you look for the ego, he's the best. If you look to play soldiers, that guy is the best. If you look to really study, this guy. Oh, but it's difficult. Yeah, I know. You decide if you want to study, if you want the uniform, if you want just the titles. And BJJ is more accurate, I would say. BJJ is very accurate. I don't know many BJJ schools that connect to serious teachers and famous teachers, that a blue belt is not a blue belt and a purple is not a purple. You understand?
Right, right.
Judo is the same. If you follow the manual book of Kodokan Judo, yellow belt, orange, there's a manual book. And one day I teach, and I mean, I'm sitting in my school. That was not my class. The class was for judo. And one guy comes and he has one knife here and one knife here, and you know, all of these, and Krav Maga t-shirt, and he want to teach Krav Maga in my school. And I said, well, we are not really into it, but you know, sit, have a coffee, no problem. And then he look and say, oh, they train judo. I say, yeah. He says, oh, I trained many years in judo. So I said, what belt you are? He said, no, I trained many years. What belt you are? See, in judo, you tell me your belt. I don't need to know how many years. You tell me your belt. It's like, oh, I'm doing the army. What rank you are in the army? I'm a major. What rank are you in the police? I'm a master sergeant. So you're teaching police, but so what is your rank in the police in the end of the day? What is your rank in the army in the end of the day? Or you are illusionary guy that go on the internet and write, oh, who's Avi Nardia. Yeah, I'm a major. Who are you? What is your rank? You understand?
Yeah.
What war did you do? I have a certificate from the army for the war I was. I cannot say it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I can prove I was in the war. And this is why I say that when I get students, I don't look at them as a customer. If you want to be my students, there's a few regulations, including I will slap you in your face if I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be my student. You understand?
Yeah.
My school is my country. My dojo is my country. If I go to Machado, this is the Machado land. If I go to Hanshi McCarthy, this is Aiki Kempo Jiu Jitsu or Karate Koryu Chinadi land. That's the rules. He's the army. He's the president. It's the same for me. If you go to Avi Nardia Academy, you have to follow not everything. I don't ask you for many things, but to be serious, not to be. And this is why when we start all conversation, I said, forget this, forget that, because if you want to be special force, there's only one way to do it: to join the army.
Mm-hmm.
There's no civilian special force.
Yeah.
So that's where I was very rude and cut it. And not every time when you go to martial art school, it's because you want to be in the judo Olympics, because that's very difficult and very temporary. I prefer people that want to study judo as a lifestyle, not to be stronger than me or you. When you go Olympic, you always have to show that you are better than me. And that's not my goal when I teach people judo, jiu-jitsu or BJJ. So my goal is to teach you to be better, not to teach you to be better than somebody else. That don't make you better. You understand?
Yes.
Unfortunately, again, we go to the world of reality, and you have the UFC, which is the big money maker, and the people getting the wrong ideas about what is martial art and how martial art behave and how martial artists talk. You know, I had a lot of time with a lot of those kind of people. And I said, first, I'm 60 years old, but if it's need, I will stand in front of you. But also, I ask you another thing. You're young enough. Why don't you go to UFC instead of just sit on the microphone and talk? You understand? I'm 60 years old. I can go not to UFC, but if somebody, okay, I will take your challenge. You know, like because I might get beat up, but you're not going without a bruised eye. So the idea is that all of these change the concept of martial art. Martial art is the art of peace. It's not the art of course, without a war, there will not be peace.
True.
The world was very peaceful after the Second World War, not before. After the war, it became peaceful. And now, all the testosterone, all the crazy women put boobs and pictures since they are 16 in Facebook, and the men put pictures with guns, and that's how our reality looks. And I said, war now, it's a good solution. Great. All those want to be soldiers, go try. You will be so surprised how it's so not fun to be a soldier, how it's not so fun to shoot people, unless you're a psychopath. But now everyone into war and this and America, US, is the most weird country in the world. And they leading us how to think. A country with no culture. What culture they have? What is American culture? Hamburger, McDonald's. And they will come to countries that have different deep cultures, and they will force us. So again, I tell the friends lately, you know, war right now, be a great solution. Suddenly there's no COVID, believe me. If now we go to a war with China, with Iran, suddenly, oh, we solved COVID, we solved. Because right now we're again in the digital war. So mostly in these days that we're in the digital war, everything is virtual. kids school, kids playground is this computer. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Then fitness, training, martial art is the most important. Most important, because that will bet you again to understand many things about life, many things about
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And even now, I'm doing a lot of class online.
Mm-hmm.
People say, how can you do it? I move the camera so you can see everything, and I do different move and follow, and you can follow me and train. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, in fitness, much more easy. And I want to do two different things between fitness and martial art. It's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you many martial artists that when they were young, they have six pack, and now they have full pack. And but if they punch you one time, you'll understand
Mm-hmm.
that they're martial artists.
Mm-hmm.
Martial art is not a fitness. In my career, I saw a lot of people that they are way fit than me, away. But for me to neutralize them, it's very easy.
Mm-hmm.
So martial art has a different aspects. Just fitness can be a part of it. And again, fitness can go to what? To acrobatic? Is it really important? Do you want to practice circus and all of those? I mean, it's beautiful. It's a matter also of age. But do you see me 60 years old doing all of those? No.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you want to study to self-defense, I'm not sure if it's going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a show off. So this is why I'm totally against extreme. What? You want me to kick your head? Why don't you bring your head down and then I kick you?
Correct.
Why should I bring my leg up? So self-defense and the understanding of martial art is totally different. Martial art is about teaching people about friendship. School don't teach you about friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened now with COVID. Oh, no friends. Social distance. Same like my cat. Try to touch my cat, she will bite you. Social distance. But in the martial art, we build community. We build people to go together. We work them out. We're helping people in many things because you create a community for people. And this is why I say you have to isolate this from a special force or from Olympic. Olympic judoka, if we're both of us going to Olympic, I want you to die. If you die, I'm the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
We cannot develop love because we compete. If you compete all the time, and this again, like people tell me, I have a lot of friends, they say, you know, the unit we come, we're like this, like brothers. You can tell it to your sister, not to me. You know how many people from my unit cheat me for $100 for imagination that they're going to take some contract and make a big money for nothing. They were ready to backstab me and everything. So don't give me those stories. I have life experience. It's not fun to be 60 years old, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
The age, it's the experience that you bring. People say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you got so much, come with a lot of pain, that kind of shit. But what I want you to understand that the important, and I tell you to your students and to a niche student or anybody that hear us,
Mm-hmm.
know, the coach, you know, like the word sensei, it means compass. A compass show you the north. Our job as a sensei is to show you the direction.
Mm-hmm.
So we are like a compass. We show you the direction. Go there. Now you lost. You go there. So you look at the compass and go say this way, this way. So this is why the coach, which is another word, because I think that also wrestling coach, they're doing very great job. Boxing coach, they're doing a great job too. And I don't want to disrespect those martial art, like wrestling is a martial art, boxing is a martial art. That they don't do the same. I more like I said, I come from classical, so for us, it's a sensei.
Mm-hmm.
But we as a trainer, you know, like I'm in Serbia. In Serbia, there is a saying that for every sport club that you open, you close one prison.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important people to understand. When you open a sport club, you close a prison. And that's what we do. We are actually a medicine, not when you have COVID. We are pre that you will not need to deal with a lot of people that without our work
Hmm.
in the field of a coach for boxing, sports, these people will might go into crime. It's a young kids, testosterone, no direction.
Hmm.
So that's where we coming as a compass to give them direction in life. Of course, it's not only for kids or for teenage, it's also direction that show them how strong they can be. Tell you a story about my school in Israel, 1993, I think. I had a student that he was like 13 years old, and his mother died. His father was drunk, and the kids first he pay, and then he came to me. He say he cannot pay for the school because his father don't give him the money. And I say, we do agreement. You help me in the school, like cleaning and this, and I will teach you.
Hmm.
And then I saw that the kid, he start to get, like a little bit teenage. He start to drink alcohol,
Hmm.
and he used to smoke. I could smell and smoke and drink. And one day I closed the door when he come, and so we play airplane. He didn't understand. Airplane in judo or plant is when I throw you, I make sure that your legs touching the floor before you touching the ceiling before you fly down.
Hmm.
So airplane, I fly you, your legs are there, and then I smash you to the floor. After two, three like those in a sparring, he puke all over my neck. And then I lock him. I told him, you clean the school and we meet after. So he cleaned the school. I came back. I told him to clean again. Still stink. It's still this. So he had to lift the mats. He had to do a lot of work.
Hmm.
When I came back, I gave him a conversation. Told them, if you do it again, we'll play airplane. Then we'll play more. And if you don't come tomorrow to the class, I know your address and you know the routine. And the guy, he came back and everything. His father came one day, tried to to threat me. I locked the door. I turned the lights off, and the father head was, I don't know. He walked into the wall and smacked the wall. Then I opened the lights and he came out and says, "Don't make me take the lights off again." Okay. So years pass. I'm going to Israel maybe 6 years ago.
Hmm.
Imagine how many years. And I see a guy with a trolley with a kid and another baby in the hand. And he looked at me, and from 6 meters, he bowed and says, "Sensei, can I talk to you?" And when he come, he said, "Do you remember me?" Of course, I remember him. And then he told me a story. He said, thanks to you, I became a different person. And he told me when you go to the Israeli army, age 18, you have to go to officer course in
Hmm.
some training. And you have to write three people that influence you the most in your life. So you
Hmm.
have to name three people that influence your life and change your life. So the first one was Avi Nardia. The second one was Avi Nardia. And the third one was Avi Nardia. And that's the biggest present that a student can give you.
Hmm.
And then he told me he became an officer in the Israeli army. And he told me, I swear God, I was an officer in the army. I was in operation in Gaza. We get shot with RPG. We get grenades. We get shooting from all over. He says, and you know what? I'm still afraid of you more than anything else. I didn't afraid in those battles as I'm afraid still from you. I say, yeah, that's good because I was a good teacher. And this is the difference between being a coach with research
Hmm.
or to really. And yes, if you want to change people's life, you have to be sometimes tough,
Hmm.
cruel to be kind. You understand?
Hmm. Hmm.
So This is why my philosophy is totally different. My approach to people is different. And this is why I will not waste my time. You know, like many times when people try to sell Krav Maga, they try to show you that some actor is doing it. Nah, don't waste my time.
Hmm.
I don't care if Madonna do Krav Maga. That's a waste of my time. But if I put it in the biggest slum in Africa, where kids at the age of 5 still smoking crack or smell glue at the age of 5, and
Wow.
prostitution at age 8 and 7,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and we managed to build a school over there, and we managed to help those kids, and we manage even every month. I don't work for a year, but every month we're getting, oh, we have a birthday for this kid. Okay, we transfer the money so they can do the birthday.
Hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So this is to be a martial art teacher, not to be in the Olympic. That's my Olympic. Olympic is totally different for us, for my concept. Olympic for me is to bring the martial art to the slum, not to Madonna. I don't give it about Madonna. Anyway, she's too old. Even I'm 60, but for me, she's too old. Sorry. The advantage of Madonna is lost. So the whole concept, when you talk to me about what is martial art, what is fitness, is totally different.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
If one kid from Kibera or another slum like Mombasa slum, and they will not become a criminal, that's more than to win in the Olympic.
True. True.
That's medal by God, not by human.
Hmm.
You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, if you want to be a soldier, if you want to be a special force, if you join the army, like I told you, I'm not in this level. Nirmal, the guy that just climbed for the Everest
Hmm.
last week, amazing guy. He was a Gorkha, he was a special force sub, SAB unit. He was a guy very strong here,
Hmm. Hmm.
very strong here. But this is not different, very respected. You understand? It's not that I don't respect, but I cannot respect. I watch sometimes UFC and I never saw something so ugly, never. And when nobody there impressed me or make me, wow, I want to be a UFC fighter.
Hmm.
No, looks like a bunch of thugs, punks talking trash talk, technique. What's the goal?
Hmm.
What's the goal? I mean, all the, when UFC start in 93 or something like this, I remember UFC 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I remember when Royce Gracie won. And it was also totally different approach and everything. And now, terrible, terrible. It should be behind, against the law, but in the US, it's always to make money. So, but for me, it's against the law.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that at the end of the day, it's all about entertainment and less of martial arts.
Of course, because again, you can be also as a teacher of martial art, entertainer or a teacher,
Hmm. Hmm.
two different things. And the UFC belong to the entertainment
Hmm.
with all the show off and all the show around it and the selling t-shirts and everything. And you can be, like one day I heard Joe Rogan talk about Morio Shiba and really laughing about it. So I don't think if our Shiba was alive and you been on the same age, he will kick your butt. You talk too much. And my students write to him that I'm ready to come to his show because I'm also a black belt in BJJ. I'm not afraid of like getting beat up. I told
Hmm.
you I got so many times. But you young enough, why don't you show us to stand with the microphone? Wow, you're number one. I don't care how much you kick the back. Back don't kick back. Show me. Don't laugh about people to be a promoter and this. Go. So don't laugh about people because first of all, not everyone can be, because that's a bully. And that's against the religion of martial art. That's some kind of a bully.
True, true.
And it's really about a guy that has more respect than you will ever earn. I
True.
don't care if you're a black belt or not a black belt, so what? Our Shiba Sensei, or Sensei was a great teacher. And his goal was actually to change philosophy of martial art to a movement, not to fight. It was like the art of movement. And I'm sure because he came from Jiu Jitsu that he could also fight if he want. But that was not the goal or what he tried to get to the direction. Plus, I gave one time on my Facebook, it's like 1 month ago, I put a teacher that is on the wheelchair and he teach judo. He's handicapped, total, but he teach judo and he do this. And the students who came into the right, who came into the left. And I have a lot of respect for him. Who says that you cannot teach? Of course he can teach. That's why I said the difference between entertainer that look at me, wow, look at me, my leg in here, I can be like this. This is a show off. Look at me. You will not be able to do it when you're 70, when you're 90. You will not be able to do it if you cross a car accident, if you cross a stroke. And these people, they're still childish. They're still into the ego. Like nobody lasts. My father was a Red Wing hero, whatever. Never look at himself like that. But 2 weeks before he died, I met him by coincidence. I stuck in some flights. I had to go and I met him. I said, look, we know for so many years, you never told me about the Red Wings and all this story. It's not important. So what? He says, who cares? It's more important for me now that I can walk from here to the kitchen to take a glass of water. So all of this ego and ego, okay, you're still a child for me. You understand? This is why UFC bring totally wrong spirit into the martial art. I can be handicapped in a wheelchair and get more respect than all of those. So what happened? Now, what his name got? The guy with the tattoo from Ireland, I think, Mokonor. I don't know. And I think you see how much I'm not interested about it. The guy is a thug. So now they put him because he got a knockout and put him all over the internet sleeping. What was the name of the girl? Like she was like the UFC, and then she lost her mind. What is more important? For me, when I will be 80, I will be a sensei. One day I meet with somebody, again, I don't want to disrespect him, but he's a very famous actor. And we met in some Hall of Fame. And then I was angry because of the host. And we want me and my friend to throw the host into, it was a ship, and we want to throw him into the water. He really make us angry. And the guy was with this actor, and the actor was in a shock. And they are telling, really, don't piss me off. I'll throw you to the water, like from the ship. Because my friend is a K1. Those people are real deal sometimes. But humble, simple. This is martial art, not the ego, not the show. And this is why also you can be entertainer that you let the illusion of your students to think that they are soldier, they are special force. No, you are special to your mother. You are special to your girlfriend, to your wife. That's enough. To your kids. That's more important. Be special for them. Leave the special forces for real unique people. Not everyone can be there. So don't be upset that you cannot be there. There's a big price for being there, believe or not. And everyone clapping now to team go to the Everest. My suggestion, retire in your top. Don't try to do it again and again. I guarantee for you, it's not endless to climb to the Everest. There will come the time that no matter how good you are, we all fail. That's it. Nature is stronger. You could be looking for, I do free diving. And when I do free diving, I'll say, no, don't be, you know what I like? I like to take a breath and I go in the water and it's relaxing. I'm not trying to go 100 meters. I just go like 6 meters down and I relax. And when I had enough, or I wake up from my, meditation, I go up and I breathe.
Mm.
I don't want to wake up at 100 meters when I have still to go up. And a lot of again, free dive, they lost the enjoyment. So now they try always to break a record. You do 1 meter, I do 2 meters. You do 100, I do 120. And all of them dying. One of the top female champions, her son is also a great free diver. She died and she still didn't make even the body and in 20 meters. Don't play with nature, streams, everything. So I'm a very safe coach.
Mm.
And I suggest anybody that go into any sport, no matter, go safe. That's the most, you want to enjoy it. You want to reduce your stress level. This is
Mm-hmm.
why when people ask me about BJJ, I say, I got so stressed from teaching Krav Maga, believe me, and see all of those guys with the uniform. And they try to tell me what is a Krav Maga. Because they read in some book or their teacher that never been even in the Israeli army, or he buy a certificate from somebody and pay money, and he was 1 week in Israel and he know better Krav Maga, and he tried to explain to me. It happened to me just yesterday, and I was like, oh God, again. Good. You know, my old teacher, Kubo Akira Sensei, I went to see him in Japan. And the guy that asked me in Japan is one of Krav Maga guys. And we're going to meet my teacher. And my teacher is blind. So when he comes from the room, because of age, he
Mm-hmm.
lost his vision, he's very sick. She calling me every time and says, you must come before I die to say hello. I say, yes, but COVID, what can we do? But it's true, I want to go just to see him.
Mm.
And I go to see him, and the guy that is Japanese start a conversation with my teacher, and he told him, yeah, I do Krav Maga. Because my teacher asked him, oh, you're doing also martial arts? What martial arts? And I lived in Japan close to 8 years.
Okay.
I study every day with this teacher, sometimes sleep in the school, like a uchidechi, like a student living. And he asked the guy, the Japanese guy, oh, you're doing Krav Maga, this is great. Where did you study? And he says, oh, I went to Israel. I said, so how many years you been in Israel? And the teacher is all excited. And then he said, no, I was like 4 days in Israel. And you could see my teacher is blind. And he's like, what are you talking about? I mean, I studied in Japan for 8 years and I don't know much.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see Japanese that practice judo or kendo for 20 and 30 and 40 years and study different Asian stuff, if you ask them after 20, 30 years, they don't know much. They're still studying. But you go to Israel and after 4 days, you are master, grandmaster, whatever. So that's where I am more belong to the traditional martial arts.
Okay.
I try to bring the practical martial art into the traditional martial art, which is there. I just, many times traditional teachers don't like to show it, and I try to compromise and show the students like the craft.
Mm.
This is why, again, if you want to be entertainer, and people come to Israel, and in 4 days, we're going to Metzada, to Eilat, to Haifa, we're going on the bus, and then we take pictures on the sightseeing, and then we do 2 moves, and now you say, and I train Krav Maga in Israel.
Mm.
Can you compare it to 10 years, 8 years, 6 years in Japan, that you train every day in the morning and in the night, and sometimes you have camps and whatever? So this is why, if you want to be entertainer, yeah, people tell me, oh, why you don't bring people? Because it's a waste of time. If you want to train, come train. Who cares? It's like when I study BJJ, I used to get people, oh, I want to go to Brazil to study BJJ. I said, why you want to go to Brazil? Go to, we live in Los Angeles.
Mm.
And in Los Angeles, you have all the top teachers of BJJ.
Hmm.
Hickson Gracie, Machado, different teachers. Why you want to go to Brazil now? You are in LA, just go and train. You have training in the morning, training in the night. But it sounds cool, like, these are no, I study real BJJ. No? So again, some people look more like from the entertainment point of view.
Hmm.
Some people can look also from the cultural or historical.
Hmm.
But I think that again, it's a man choice, and this is why when I get student, I try to convince him not to study with me. You have to fight with me to join my school. Many times I say, "Why you want to study with me?" Ah, it's not what you're looking. So no, please, please. Okay, now because that's the Japanese way. And what is the other way? Please study with me. And
Hmm.
how many people contact teachers from Israel contact my students all over the world. Oh, my name is this and this. I'm also teaching Krav Maga. Oh, how you doing, brother? Why you call people brother? I have only one brother in my life. Why you need to be my brother? I hardly know you. How can you be my brother? I stabbed my brother 3 times. Do you want me to stab you 3 times? That's the cost of being my brother. So all of those high-level, watered-down words. How you doing, brother? Listen, I see that you like Krav Maga. Why don't you come and train with me? What kind of a normal teacher will do something like this?
Hmm.
But you know how many of my students they get in from this organization, that organization. I write to them, you're ashamed. You're ashamed. Not because you don't study with me, because you're not serious. Uh, in the COVID, a guy from Mauritius, he get a black belt in Italy. When Italy is locked for 1 year, he get on the internet a certificate of a black belt. He never study with this guy. He never see him in his. How can it be?
Wow.
It's every day I see it, every day. So this is why, okay, you want to be entertaining for Facebook, have a camouflage shirt, boobs, and Kalashnikov. Okay, great, but this is not what we do. Um, I have many time people that won't study with me, and I say, I don't accept you. You're not serious. When you know what you want, we can start to talk because it's like you just want to make noise,
Hmm.
and for noise we don't have time. You understand? You want to go to Facebook and say I train with Avi Nardia. I train. Okay, let's take selfie, put it there, and we done. But if you really want to train, it's a process.
Hmm.
And the process is very difficult. And the process, mostly in martial art, it has first to follow. It's called shohari. Show is to follow. You must follow the teacher. How could you change so many teachers? You train 1 year and you had 20 teachers. How can it be?
Hmm. Hmm.
What is the intensity of you for training? It's not important. If you tell me I have time once every 2 weeks, it's perfect, but let's work. You cannot take a class with me and a class with him. Then you collect papers and you collect names and selfie pictures to say, oh, I trained Krav Maga for 10 years. I was in a seminar and everyone introduced himself. And one guy get up, he said, I trained Krav Maga for maybe 4 years. And then I came to your seminar about 6 years ago. And now I come again to your seminar. And so since the first seminar, I'm doing KAPAP for 6 years. And I was smiling and said, how can you do, you mean you've been 6 years ago, you've been in my seminar, and now you're in my seminar, but where is the 6 years training in between? Oh, I'm not training. So it's not a 6 years training. Do you understand?
Correct. Hmm.
So this is why I say that the first thing when I accept, for example, a student, I need to know what his goal. Where you want, oh, you want to be a special force, I cannot help you. I'm not a private army. You have to contact the army. You have to
Hmm.
go to the army. You have to go to do the army test. Oh, you want to be a policeman? Go to be a policeman.
Hmm.
It's not an easy job. People gonna spit on you,
Hmm.
tell you bad words, refuse. You have to deal with anything that is a bad energy.
Hmm.
Police officers are not feeding rabbits in the zoo.
Hmm.
They run after drug dealers, they run after rapists, murderers, pedophiles. It's a very tough job. If you're ready to do it, great, but join the police. We don't do it. We're
Hmm.
civilians. This is what I try to really make a line when we're talking. Forget, yeah, I was a policeman. I was a military. And again, police, if I teach you police attitude, it's wrong because you're a civilian.
Hmm.
And if you hear people with a gun in that house,
Hmm.
you run this direction very far. But if you are counter-terror unit, you run inside the bus.
Correct. Hmm.
So how can I teach you this kind of thinking? That's a wrong way to teach you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Police, we engage problems. Civilian, you see problem, get away. The approach is different. So the guy tell you, I'm a policeman. Oh yeah, it's good. I'm good. Yeah, but you live in a movie. This guy is not a policeman. And if you get into a fight and you kill somebody, you're gonna go to prison.
Hmm.
And then I see people with knives. And everyone try to show me how much is more evil and she can flip the knife. And if you have a knife, don't move it, just hold it. The more you flip it, it can fall from your hand, okay? So leave this kind of a Mickey Mouse show, hold the knife, and then you don't have a knife, and I have 5 knives on me. You look like Bob the Builder with 5 knives, and kill and kill and kill and slash, and that's terrible. The first thing you have to teach students is compassion. If I cut your neck, it means my neck and your neck are very close. So if I can cut yours, you can cut mine.
Hmm.
That's why if I have a knife and you have a knife, I'll try to cut your hand. You drop the weapon, I don't need to kill you. And that's a thinking for civilian.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And not like show you how brutal I am. And
Right.
it
Right.
will not work. If I give 2 people knife from plastic,
Hmm.
you'll never do all of this Mickey Mouse that you see in all of those videos. It's impossible. Because also, if you cut my neck, there is a time that's called bleeding to death. And
Yeah.
bleeding to death can take from 20 seconds to almost 1 minute. You
Hmm.
will be dead.
Hmm.
Even until ambulance come, you will bleed to death. But you're not, and then you are dead.
Hmm.
Many times it takes time before the person dead. So when you cut me, it means I can cut you.
Hmm.
This is why you try always to be in a distance that you cannot kill me. So if I see your knife and I cut it, you drop the knife. So it's safe. I can escape
Correct.
and you cannot hold the knife again. Yeah, but if I go to your neck, you still have the knife and you can cut me. So this is why to teach people really self-defense, it's not all of this ego and move. You can never do them. People show with a knife how simple the guy is a ninja. No. I believe that if I fight with a knife, you manage to cut me a few times, you manage even to stab me. But as long as it's not vital, because of body condition and mind condition, I will take the pain. You understand?
Hmm.
So this is why it's like very important when you teach people is to teach them how to think, how to approach, and also look, you are a normal person. Why I'm trying not to make you Olympic champion or special force. I'm gonna make you uh, inflammations, tendons problem, back problem. No, I'll train you in a way that you can train from today. It's no matter. You're 70 years old.
Hmm.
That's good enough. I'll start with you. So when you be 71, you already stand much better
Hmm.
because of the training. Yeah. So
Hmm.
you'll stand much better, you present much better, you'll feel much better. And you live only 5 years, but you live them good. Bruce Lee died very young.
Yeah.
Martial art don't extend life.
Hmm.
Many times it short your life. And again, I think that Bruce Lee was training too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be the top, there is a price. and I'm sure that he trained too much. He really, in a way, he hurt the body. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and people do it. We talked about steroids.
Yes.
People try to take steroids to get big muscles.
Yeah.
No, just go to the gym and work. It takes. Plus, look, this when I put my muscle like this and I start to do this with so this muscle take 20 kilo. Now
Mm.
this muscle free 20 kilo, and again this full 20. This the muscles must be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
But as a judo, I'll not come to you and do this. It comes, you see, with the shoulders, with the hip, with the leg, with the movement. This is why I prefer to teach people what I call more specific.
Mm.
Now, what I loved in judo is the timing. That when you do this, wait the last minute and throw you.
Mm-hmm.
The modern judo, we don't wait for the timing. We create the timing. So I'm a big gorilla, and I'm just pulling you. And now I create the timing to throw you.
Mm.
But it's based on force, a lot. Force, tough, fitness.
Mm.
It will not work for you when you get older.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of people, but a lot of judoka Olympic style, they quit. They quit. They don't do judo when they're 50, 60, 70. They'll tell you they have hernia in the back and they cannot do any more judo. So this is why I say, what is more important? To what? To train, to be, I am the man, and then quit. And this is why I said we teach for normal people. And we teach you in a way that you can do it forever. Of course, if you want to be Olympic, it's like when you go to study cooking. So you go in the neighborhood or driving. If you want to become Formula One racing car, first study to drive, get experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, go to UFC, to tournament. But again, personally, I'm against. But if you like it, go. There's a lot of schools that this is their expertise. They don't take beginners, they take people and build them for this. And normally, if you go there, you'll be like the training dog for them. They will take you to train their own champions.
Mm.
So you'll be like the guy that you're going there just to injure yourself. So this is why I'm totally against any materials. Creatine. Your body make its own creatine. The
Yes.
more you give creatine, you teach your body not to produce the creatine.
Mm.
Also, if I do this, now I build my creatine and I can go again. Then I build my creatine and I can build. So it's better to teach you this way than and I take a spoon of creatine
Mm-hmm.
because you're cheating the body to a certain level. It's all
Mm.
coming back to you. You know,
Yes.
uh, go back to Earth, and we're cheating Earth every day. We try to, but then you get it back like Corona, like COVID.
Yeah.
Earth will develop. In Israel, if you work agriculture, every 7 years you must give the land to rest. Not so for 7 years you grow up in the field, and in the 7 year you don't do nothing. You let the field to rest
Mm.
because everything needs resting time and to rebuild itself and to. But today we will not do it. We will put phosphates and we will put
Fertilizer.
some kind of
Yeah.
chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
We will put lights that is not a natural light, that is
Mm.
imitate the sun to create and to produce. What is the price? We don't know yet.
Mm.
What is the price? We don't know. I can tell you that if you talk about two things, the old teaching methods and the new methods. And if you look for young parents and old parents, the young parents try to renew the old system, but they don't have any experience.
Mm.
And every time when we look now for what happened in the world, say, God, where did they get this philosophy? Because you put things that were never tested. The old method to teach sport was discipline.
Mm.
And today is not discipline, it's ego, entertainment. So I see martial artists, sometimes even I'm laughing, but they challenge me. Oh yeah, okay, whatever. Like another idiot in town. So, but this is really problematic because the people do not get the appropriate messages.
Mm-hmm.
In the interview, like with you, I'm trying mostly to show. I don't know if it's the best way. There's so many ways. This is the way we doing things. Don't mean
Mm-hmm.
that it's a good way. This is the way we do it. I'm sure that some people will look for ego, some people will look for extreme. That's okay. But don't complain because everyone. No, when the students come to my school and they start to complain about other teachers, I tell them to stop and I cannot accept that. And the reason is today you will complain for him, tomorrow for me. No, thank you. You put your legs to where you deserve to be.
Mm-hmm.
Why I get students says, he tried to write to me. I was the director for this organization, and I was the director for this organization, and I was this, and I asked myself, why you study with this nobody? Director is not a rank in martial art. What do you mean you're a director? You're the country representative. Who's the guy who give you that? What is rank? Like somebody from Italy, he gives certificate and he write Navy SEALs and gendarmerie. And we ask him, you've been in Navy SEALs? No, I was not in Navy SEAL, but I know somebody. I was in a bus station and you were Navy SEAL. No, that's not how you market yourself. You understand? When you market, you have to ask a lot of time. I'm not a Navy SEAL.
Mm.
I'm a professional trainer. That's how I market myself. And this is where sometimes people, but he was in a special force. First of all, it's not considered a special force in Israel. Second, even if you've been in the top special force, even if you're the chief of staff of the Israeli army and the commander of the top unit in the
Mm.
army, you're not a trainer. Two different things. If you are a commander of Delta Force, you're not a trainer. You're a commander.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different things. If you want to teach people to be martial artists, who was a martial art teacher in the army, for example? You understand? So a lot of time, people just using a lot of phrase. I think that if you have more questions, I'll be happy to give you.
Oh, you addressed quite a lot of like without me asking, you answered so many questions. So I was just looking up other questions that I had, and I think step after step you answered everything. So for this section of our talk, I think we can end it here, so I can edit it and then I can publish it online. So thank you so much, Sensei Nardia, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Extensive knowledge, a lot of humility. You broke a lot of misconceptions about joining the army and the life that people face there, and the drama that the movies have created about it. So
Well, Facebook is a good special force, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It is.
Facebook and Instagram special force. I
Yes.
want to thank all of you that took the patience to listen. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to Avnish Sensei to match us. And anytime that you want, I'm here. Also, like I told you, I'm doing a lot of privates, and a part of my private, I also try to allow people to understand that martial art is not this. Martial art is here and here first.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This is second. And this is about anything. It's about how you approach and how you understand. Because with a wrong approach, you could be a good fighter, but with a wrong approach, you're gonna find yourself dead in a street fight.
True, true.
because if I think there's going to be a fight, I'm going to try to escape,
Mm,
to avoid. And when I see martial art is so much ego and challenging, that's exactly what you're going to challenge somebody in a parking lot and he's going to pull a gun and shoot you.
mm, mm, mm.
That's why martial art is not to show your force. You understand? Like every time you see now martial artists, no shirt, look at me, I'm so strong. That's okay. That's a different level, but again, it's more like entertainers because you don't need to pull muscles to explain. Uh, I give you a good traditional martial artist that I'm happy because Hanshi Patrick McCarthy just went and closed another circle with Grandmaster Moyo Higahana, and
Yes.
which is an amazing master. And you could see a guy that is laughing and smiling and don't hit anybody, don't scare anybody. And
Mm,
so I come from this kind of a roots. And again, this is the way I study, and this is the way I try to transfer this kind of people's spirit. Even I don't train anymore with Moyu Goana. I train more now with Hanshi McCarthy. But COVID and we locked and we don't travel much and everything. But at least I try to transfer the philosophy and the idea.
mhm. Well, thank you so much, Sensei Nardia, and I hope to have you on once again. You have a great day ahead, great evening ahead, and please stay safe during this time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.